You're definitely Bert too, by the way.
Ernie.
We just need to shave everything off.
Leave my cone head. Well, I do love pigeons. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, and he's a great dude, man. I got to direct this man. I got to act with this man. I got to get stabbed by this man. Ladies and gentlemen, the king of cool, Christian Keys.
Mr. Christian, all your time has come, and you know that you're the only one to say I'm over it.
It's quite the intro. Mr. Christian.
I thought you might like that.
I like it. Perfect.
I was giving Christian Christian is here doing his panel because he has to. He really doesn't care that much. What he cares about is karaoke. All he cares about is karaoke. It's all he's been talking about. And he was like, man, you're the one who helped me, break through the wall and get up on stage. And I was like, I said, I had foot marks from where you stampeded over me to get to the stage. I remember at some point I had to pull, the first time I did karaoke, I went over to him and I said, you're not supposed to do all the songs. We're supposed to rotate other people in here. And he started, and I'm not even going to say what, but I know you already have a couple on the hopper that you know you're going to do, all right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're in for a treat because the man can sing. Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Keys.
How are all of you beautiful people doing today? That's quite the intro. I felt, man, I'm exhausted. I didn't even do anything yet. So what are we talking about today? What do y'all want to talk about? Since we have a quality 45 minutes. I want to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Are we jumping straight into Q&A? Anyone? Bueller?
We're ready.
Yes or yes?
Oh, hi.
Oh, there we are. How are you?
Hi, I just want to see how your experience has been so far in the family.
It's been amazing, actually. I've always known the importance of the fans and the viewers and the people who are largely, in part, responsible for us having a job. But I never knew how much shows mean to people until I started coming to these conventions. I never knew. I'm crazy about a bunch of shows, like 5, 6, 8, 10 shows.
Which ones?
15. I'll get you that next. You're over here somewhere. But no, it just helped me. It's a great reminder and it keeps you grounded. But it's a wonderful reminder of the fact that I was just talking in the meet and greet about it. If you're gonna give us 60 minutes of your week, we owe you a good show, and it's a great reminder of what's really important. The viewers, the content, the vision. So yeah, I love it. I love being a part of the Supernatural family.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Which shows? Real quick, hold on. Man, a couple of them ended. Now, Breaking Bad, I was addicted. Sons of Anarchy, I was addicted. What else? Well, Sopranos ended a long time ago, but Sopranos was amazing. You know what? I got into that late. Somebody said Game of Thrones. I got into that late, so I got to go back and watch the first 6 seasons. But I'm gonna finish it. I'm committed to excellence. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch every doggone episode. But because that's a hell of a show.
So is
What else? Some of the legal dramas I'm addicted to. Law and Order. I'll be late for stuff because a good episode of Law and Order might be on, and I'll be like, man, just tell them I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes. But yeah, I like intelligent television that I want to be entertained, but I also want to learn a little bit. So yeah, I love good TV, and I love Supernatural. So yes, please.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you, and who are you?
Really good. I really, first of all, absolutely love your look in the other world with your long coat and
Thank you.
really wonderful. You don't get much time as you in their world.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if you were actually able to play it instead of Jensen, how would you have made him react to what he's seeing in our world or their world?
Let me see. Me as in my
Character.
vessel?
Yeah,
The vessel, not Michael?
yeah.
You know what? That's interesting because they never really established who the vessel was. And I always thought, you know, like, whoever Michael took over, I was hoping he'd be like the exact opposite, like a really uptight computer software programmer. You know, I left my pocket protector. I set it down, and I was hoping that he would be like somebody completely different, because that would be more fun, and you get to stretch a little bit more.
Be different than the badass?
Yeah, listen, Michael is easily 1 or 2 on my list of favorite characters to play ever in 19 years of acting. So I love playing Michael. He's a rock star and a badass. But yeah, I don't know who the other guy is, and they didn't technically kill him, and we do still have season 15. Oh, message. Hashtag message. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get off into that. You know, who knows? If they ring my phone, I'm gonna pick it up. I'll just say that.
Well, thank you and welcome to the family.
Thank you for having me.
Other side. Over there.
I knew that. I didn't know that. I did not know that at all.
So I want to ask about a different CW show you're on this season that I am also obsessed with. And it's
Okay.
also very weird that I encourage everyone to watch. Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. That's just, yeah.
All hail Bevo. So can you talk about being on that show and maybe give us some hints about, because now you're the big bad for the rest of the season. What are we going to see from Neron, and what was it like working with Matt Ryan in that role? Because I loved that whole storyline.
It is. It's amazing playing the bad guy. I will say that. You get to do stuff in life that you would never really do, and I think that's one of the coolest parts. One of my favorite parts of acting. Michael, you know, you got wings and powers, and you're trying to take over the world. Desmond / Neuron is a great guy who is possessed by a demon, and now Neuron is not a nice person. So, you know, without ruining anything immediately as soon as Legends comes back, it's a cast member too that might not still be living. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Message, I said might not, I didn't say definitely.
They're back from hiatus next Monday, so everyone can catch up before then.
Yeah, but it's
such a fun show.
It's a fun show. It's got a lot of wit and sarcasm, which I like, some levity. But yeah, I enjoy it somehow. Now I'm gonna be the villain a lot. And this is no different. It's amazing working with the cast over there. They're really cool as well. And I'm excited to see, because we shot so much stuff, but we shot it so long ago, some of it I don't even remember. Like, I remember it was dope, but they had like a 3-month hiatus or something.
Yeah, they finished in December.
Yeah, so it's tough to remember all the great stuff that we shot, because we shot it a few months before that. So, you know, like we shot the episode maybe 6 or 8 months ago, so I'm excited to see the episode so I can see what we shot and relive a lot of it and laugh and cringe when I'm the bad guy. So yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed it. The SFX on your face, that hive-looking thing, is very scary.
I liked it.
It was cool, but it was very, very scary.
Thank you.
Hello.
See, I knew it. I told you I knew it.
I would like to know if there's any actors you kind of like specifically took more time to like rehearse with and such, as specifically kind of like Mark Pellegrino or Richard Speight, seeing as you guys were playing brothers.
Let me see. Definitely with Richard, because we were fighting with those angel blades, and those are dangerous. And they're heavy too. They're like, the real ones are like a pound or 2. So you don't want to get poked with that. So we went through a lot of the choreography and everything when I had to stab him. Sorry, bro. You're welcome. But no, we definitely worked the mess out of that stuff. Mark and I, you know, we went through a lot of the fighting scenes and the choreography. They got great stunt guys over there on the CW period, but especially on Supernatural. And they're very thorough. You know, they're very, yeah, thorough is the best. I'll leave it there, but they're very thorough. They're like, hey, listen, you got 2 minutes before you're doing anything. Let's go over it 20 more times. And you need that kind of thing because everybody's safe. But with Mark, he's easily one of my favorite guys to work with or do scenes with, as well as Jared and Jensen. They're amazing. But he's my favorite guy to ever play the devil. I said that a bunch. But other than Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate, Pellegrino is my favorite, other than Al, and that's good company. Al Pacino is good company, but Mark is my favorite Lucifer / Satan type character. So that was fun. That was definitely fun. He has way too much fun playing the devil.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
What is your favorite behind-the-scenes story that you can share?
Let me see. One of them is known, actually. One of my favorite behind-the-scenes stories. When Dean was gonna have to play, Dean was gonna cave in and let Michael take over. We had a conversation, and he didn't have to do this. This is more about the amount of class that he has. He was like, hey, is there any specific things that you did as Michael, that I can kind of carry into my portrayal of him, and then, then put my own spin on it, and so we talked about like trying to, find the music and the notes, kind of the way, Michael would sing certain words or, say them slowly, drag them out, flick the jacket back, stuff like that. That was cool. That was cool to him to do because, like I said, he didn't have to. It just shows a certain amount of class. And then, both the brothers, both Jared and Jensen, are dads, and my son is, older than their children. My son just turned 16. So, they're for them to kind of pull me aside and have dad questions or us having dad conversations. I'm sitting there talking with Sam and Dean about kids, That's pretty damn cool. So, yeah, just my whole experience up there. It's, after 13, 14, 15 years, it's a machine, but it's also a big family-oriented machine, and it just runs smoothly, and it just flows, and it's just, if you hop in, you do your job, you do a good job, and then you hop back out, and then you wait till they call you back.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
So I saw you had books for sale that you had written. Could you tell some of us what they're about? We may be more apt to buy them.
Yes, let me see. There's 2 and I'm finishing my 3rd now. The ones that are here are Ladies Night and Dr. Feelgood. They're basically romantic comedies. They sound a little saucy. Somebody over here is naughty. Somebody said. Dr. Feelgood. But they're basically what you hope in a good, I don't want to say chick flick because that's kind of, but in a good romantic comedy. Some drama, some obstacles, some likable characters, some intelligence in the writing, some people to love and some people to love to hate. Some hope, some actual genuine love, not the overly cheesy wind blowing in my hair, I'm on a horse, kind of stuff, but the real everyday, hey, I just worked 12 hours, I want to come home to my woman and love on her, real love kind of stuff. It's a little bit of, where'd she go? It's a little naughty in there. It's a little bit, it's like, 4 or 5% tasteful naughtiness. You need it. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for tasteful naughtiness. I wouldn't have been born. You need some tasteful naughtiness. Hashtag tasteful naughtiness. So, but it's not like you won't feel like you need a shower after you read my books. Like you won't not wait. She said, dang it. I want a refund. No, in a bad way. Like you won't feel filthy and ashamed. If you're a little exhilarated, then I did my job. You're welcome.
figured that might be your answer, so I was trying to help you sell some more.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. Make sure, let me know where to send your commission check.
Hi, kind of following off the person who was in front of me, have you been able to keep up with the show, and did Jensen take your advice to heart? Did he nail your character?
He did a magnificent job of his version of it. But yeah, he incorporated, he flipped the coat back a couple. he flipped it back a couple times. I was checking, but it was never a question of whether or not he actually even needed my input. I just thought that was super classy for him to do in the first place. But yeah, absolutely, I've been seeing what's going on, because I was checking to see, I was like, okay, they keep talking about Michael. So, but yeah, I'm keeping up, and I'm definitely going, I'm going to pay extra attention to season 15, writers and producers. So, yeah, I love the show now. I'm hooked on it now, so I'm doomed.
Well, welcome to the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. We're all, it's a wrap. We're doomed. So,
Thank you.
thank you. I'm going to go sit outside Jared and Jensen's house after the show ends. And just going to sit there and wave at them every day. Hey, guys.
Yes, so are some of the people here.
Hi. Earlier I had you sign a certain card against humanity card. And
Yes.
So I was.
You really going to make me blush in front of all these people? Security? I remember, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering if you think that actually does apply to Michael, or if you think like Lucifer was the greater one, or if you can like say Gabriel or another angel.
You tell them, because I'm not going to be, they're not going to get video footage of me saying what was on that card. You said it. No. What's on the card? Spill the beans. Don't blush in the dark over there in the corner. No.
I don't want to get kicked out of the con.
You're good,
There's a way
you're
you
fine.
can tiptoe around it and still say it.
It's on my Twitter. It's posted. It starts with the biggest.
What, ego?
You know how they say that angels are just
Junk with
wings. You are helpful. So she had me sign a card that said, the biggest black junk.
Oh, the biggest
Not
blackest dick
junk,
word.
though. So yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I didn't know if you thought Michael was the bigger evil or if Lucifer. So.
No, I'm definitely.
What is it?
Thank you.
Get me in trouble up here. Yes, please.
Hi, so my question is, did Michael consider this alternate Gabriel his brother? And if he did he care about killing him, or is like, he deserved it?
The second half of that, did Michael consider this alternate Gabriel his brother, and if he did
he care that he was killing him, or he was like, yeah, you deserved it?
I mean, in my mind, Gabriel was getting in his way. So it was, he's collateral damage. And, Gabriel was good at two shoes at this point. He was going to try to kind of, get in the way of what Michael had in mind anyway. So he's going to have to kill him either at that moment or eventually, so might as well go ahead and get him out the way now.
Thank you.
Richard's a great guy, though. Richard is a great guy. I felt bad stabbing him, okay?
So, this may be a little bit related, but often when actors talk about playing the quote-unquote bad guys or the evil characters, they talk about having to find a way of sort of relating and humanizing that character in order to be able to really play them well. So I just wanted to know what your story of Michael is and how you kind of related to him. I guess I can't say as a human being, but as a being that wasn't just pure evil.
I think the first thing was not to judge him. And I think it was, Will Smith said it or something close to it. to where you can't really judge the people that you're playing. Like, let's say if like all the actors in history that have ever played racists, Edward Norton. In the one film, American History,
yes.
he was brilliant.
Yep.
But for him to achieve that level of brilliance and honesty, he couldn't judge the character that he was playing. He had to just say, that character thinks that lifestyle is right in the moment. My choices are right, I'm right on this. The same thing with Michael. He wasn't, it wasn't a racist thing or whatever, but he had a purpose. He had made a decision, this is what I want. These are my goals. I want to take over this. I want to take over this. And they may have to die in the process. Definitely gonna have to get the Winchester boys out of there. This, that, and the other. And then, and that seems right to me, and that's okay. And as long as it's honest to me and I can make it real to me, I can find a way to make it come across real for everybody else who's watching. But if I can't, then it's a problem. So I allowed it to be real. I allowed that want to take over the world and be the be-all, end-all to be my purpose. And anybody in the way of that, residual collateral damage. It's easier to accept it and make it honest and not judge them. If I judge them, I'm like, man, I'm a bad person, I'm doing this wrong. No, it's right to Michael. This is right, this is my birthright, this is what I want.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Hi, Christian. My question is, throughout the years, all the characters you have played, which one is your favorite?
I'll say it's kind of a tie between Michael and then last season, last year, while I was shooting Supernatural, we did a show called In Contempt. And Charlie Riggs was an attorney, and it was like I told you, I was in love with Law and Order. It's like a Law and Order type show, just younger and sexier, and the people actually had sex.
Yes.
Because Law and Order, they're a little older. You don't really want to see, Vincent and Stabler. You don't want to see them humping.
Exactly.
But I mean, older people get it in too. Get your big on and get it in. But on television, you don't necessarily want. In real life, get it in, but safely and responsibly. But on Law and Order, you don't want to see Benson and Stabler just grinding it out. So I think with Charlie Riggs on In Contempt, it was the lawyer thing, all the legal jargon. It was giving the big closing arguments in front of the court and in front of the jury, and all of that stuff was really dope. And then, clearly, I mean, what's not to love about a character like Michael? What's not to love? It was amazing. It was so fun. The stunts, I tried to do as many of them as I could. I tried to outdo the stunt guys. I wanted them to use all my takes. Just use, don't be against the pillar. So yeah, those two are my favorite ever so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you doing?
Wonderful, how are you?
I'm doing good. My question is to kind of piggyback off the person who was what asked you to talk more about your books and stuff. First of all, learning that you're an author, I was like, what? I gotta ask a question now. So just listening to how you describe the books you wrote, I guess I want to know, how did you become an author, especially in that kind of, I guess, say, genre, or the kind of stories that you write, which seem to be a little romantic in nature, because it's not too often you come across a male author who actually kind of writes those stories. So just kind of want to know your journey into writing, particularly the stories that you write.
That's a good question. You know what? I've been writing stories since I was, 12. I came up in the foster care system. 12 foster homes, 3 group homes, a couple of detention centers. I'm a survivor of vicious child abuse. And no, I'm not saying it to be, this is a victory story, so no awes, none of that. Because I'm here with y'all, so clearly I'm already winning by the grace of God. Yeah, this is not a pity party. But the only constant in all those foster homes, the group homes, was paper and pencil. So when I was in a hellish environment, I could always turn to paper and pencil to write and create a safer place. And the more, the worse the environment I was in, the better I would concentrate on making this place great and making it realistic and making it honest and writing so much so where I could see the way the light bounced off the table or the way the shadow was cast on the wall or this, that, and the other, and I started learning to paint myself into those rooms. Fast forward to, I think after college I started writing movies, and we were filming. A friend of mine has a bunch of New York Times bestsellers. He's a beast as a writer, and he's my publisher now, but I was asking him, I said, how hard would it be to turn a good script into a novel? Because I'm passionate about that, and I want to try out novel writing. Because eventually I want to write my story about all the foster care and the abuse and everything, but I figure I'd write a couple fictions first, so I can be a better novelist and learn how to tell my story better. So he read one of my scripts, and he was like, this is a great story. You build it out from 90 pages to 250 pages, and I'll give you a book publishing deal. And that's how I ended up being an author. I got a stack of scripts at home now, so now I just take one of those 90-page scripts I've written, I build it out, paint more, describe more and more detail, and I encourage everybody in here. A few people told me that they were writing books and finishing books. Finish those books. It's one of the most rewarding things that you will ever do if you have a passion about that. If you paint, damn it, paint. If you want to write a book, sit down and write. Commit to a page or two a day. Like he told me, I was like, there's no way I can write 250 pages. He said, yeah. He said, commit to 2 pages a day. Type 2 pages a day for 125 days in a row. Period. And you have a novel. You can do that twice a year, almost 3 times a year. So I was like, damn, I can do that. and if you have the discipline, you can do it. So I wanted to do it. And I didn't go to school for it. I just always loved good writing, which is one of the reasons why I fell in love with Supernatural. And I wanted to do some of my own good writing. So I figured, why not? And thankfully, by the grace of God, I'm working on novel number 3.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, and it definitely inspires me to want to go out there and write now, because I love writing, I love reading, so and I hope to be able to check out one of your books.
Okay, well, I hope to be able to check out one of yours. So finish what you want to write. Write that thing. Oh, and you know what else? There's they're not paying me, this ain't no commercial. There's a book called How to Write a Movie in 21 Days, but it also very helpful on the novel side. And it's got a lot of structure points and things that'll help you get the framing or the skeleton of your story. And it'll help you, it'll be easier for you to write your story. If you look that book up, How to Write a Movie in 21 Days, it helps novels as well. You're welcome.
Hi again, Christian.
I'm wonderful, how are you?
Good. I'm curious, were you a fan of Supernatural before you were cast? And what was it like for you joining such a well-established and popular show?
I had seen some episodes, and then when I was going in for the audition, the weekend before, I binge watched the entire 12th season.
That's dedication.
It was heavy. There was so much going on. But I wanted to understand, like, every show that you ever go in for or ever are on has a particular tone, tempo, feel, flow. It has its own energy and life. And so I wanted to be well-versed in Supernatural. And I figured, okay, well, none of these other guys dumb enough to sit here and watch 12 episodes, the whole season. They might watch an episode or 2, but I'm going to do the whole season, and I'm going to study and prep the mess out of this and commit to my decisions, and thankfully it worked. And the funny thing is they gave me a few adjustments in there, and because I was comfortable with the material, I was able to make them. And thankfully I ended up booking it. So when I showed up, I was just like, okay, well, you know what? This is a big show. There's stars right here. I'm gonna come in, do a good job, so they keep bringing me back. And that was my approach. I wasn't, you don't walk in trying to show out or show up anybody. You just want to do a damn good job so where they have to keep bringing you back. So that was my goal. Like, okay, if I'm honest, if I'm professional, if I'm courteous and easy to work with, they ain't gonna want to get rid of me. So let me go ahead and do my thing. So it was fun. It was an amazing experience.
Well, you've done an amazing job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, what sport do you think it would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to?
Q&As at conventions. That's about the only safe. Ping pong, beer pong, golf, bowling. Because I suck, so I have to have a beer or two because I'm terrible and I need to be able to stand how bad I am. Something safe though, something where nobody can get hurt. Definitely not like basketball, football, baseball, or anything, but yeah, those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question, and it's who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, damn. Boy, oh boy. I've been able to work with some amazing people. Let me see. Right now, if I'm being honest, you know what? I used to have the biggest crush on Sanaa Lathan from Love and Basketball, and I made the mistake of telling her that when I met her at a premiere. And I was like, I said it politely, not in a weird way. I didn't, I wasn't creeper or stalkerish. I was just like, hey, I'm a fan of your work. I used to have a huge crush on you, after Love and Basketball. I used to want to kiss that little scar on your cheek. And she was like, she kind of smirked a little bit, and then her date walked up. I was like, my bad. Now, I don't know. I don't really have a celebrity crush. Beyonce's taken. I think Rihanna's amazing. Kerry Washington's taken too. She's off the market. Otherwise, she could be on the list because she's brilliant and beautiful and amazing. I don't really have a crush. I just, and I'm single, so I don't. I feel like locking in on somebody you kind of limit your options. I want a wife and smoke kids, so we'll see.
Nice. All right. Good answer. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hello, now that I know you've watched the show, which angels do you think in the Apocalypse universe Michael had on his side?
Which angels?
Did Michael have on his side in his universe?
I don't think many, because I think Michael was self-serving in my mind. If I'm answering that, I think Michael was self-serving. So anybody who wasn't serving Michael or assisting Michael got handled. They got Gabriel'd. Yeah, I think he was like, listen, either you gonna work for me, help me, or die. Pick one. And I think that was kind of his motto. Yeah, because anybody else who wasn't helping him was getting in the way.
Thank you very much.
I feel like my voice changes when I answer questions about Michael. I need to calm down. I started getting a little aggressive. I'm sorry.
Hi. So my question is that, as you played Michael from the AU, but I was wondering what you think a scene would be like if you got to meet the other Michael from the other worlds.
Incredible. I think that would be really dope. And interesting. It'd be like a mind screw. See how I didn't say the word that I was about to say. Dirty for thinking it. I think it'd be dope. I think it would be really, really dope. I was thinking that maybe that might be what it was going to take to get rid of Michael, possibly, or something. I don't know, but I think it'd be a great idea. I'd be down. Call me, CW.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So I was wondering, for you, what was the most challenging aspect of playing Michael? Was it the technical parts, like you said, you put a lot of practice into fight scenes, or was there like an aspect of the character that you found challenging? And how did you manage to deal with it? Because I loved you as Michael. I thought you did the best job out of all the different little snippets we've seen as Michael. And sorry, Jensen. But yeah, I just wanted to know what you found hardest and how you dealt with it.
Sorry, I enjoyed that way too much. Sorry, not sorry. Let me see. Probably the most difficult part. Was there a difficult part? I mean, put it like this, when the writing is good, I feel like that does a lot of my work for me. If it's honest and it connects and it's intelligent, has a good flow, then it's easier to bring it to life. Because you don't always get good writing like this. You don't always get good writing that sounds like honest, intelligent dialogue and purposeful statements. Sometimes it's just a bunch of words and you're like, Lord, I gotta make this honest somehow. It wasn't like that here. So dialogue-wise and finding my purpose in it and the honesty in it, that was, the writers pretty much did that for me, thankfully. They do a great job. Let me see, I think my only thing that I ever complained about, I think I accidentally, in the fight scene, I accidentally punched a table and almost broke my knuckle. And what else? And that harness, when they bring you up in the air, that harness goes up into some places. So that's probably the only thing I would complain about. That harness is uncomfortable. It's unrelenting. It doesn't cooperate so much. So that was it. Everything else was a blast. It was a blast. It was almost unfair to call it work.
Awesome, thank you so much, and again, great job.
Thank you. And then I was actually in Vancouver when they were filming. I was filming Legends when they were filming episode 300 of Supernatural. And I was gonna try to make the 300 party that they had, and I couldn't because I was filming till like 2 or 3 in the morning. But I was sure gonna try to sneak off set. But I didn't because I wanted to keep my job.
Hi, Christian. Can you talk a little bit about the man in 3B?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another bad guy. I played Slim, who seems like a decent guy at the beginning. I loved doing the movie. I was actually blessed to be a co-producer on that one as well. And it was based on a New York Times bestseller with the same title. But my character was a bad guy. Seemed like a decent guy, seemed like kind of a ladies' man. Got my girlfriend hooked on cocaine. He was not a nice guy. Almost, a little violent, not with her, but like guys, he'd fight in a second. I did used to give her the cocaine in Tiffany boxes though, like the jewelry boxes. So the presentation was nice. I got to get presentation points. But yeah, it was. He wasn't a nice guy, but it was fun playing the villain because I've been acting for 19 years, and most of that, up until about the last 4 or 5 years, it's been, cute guy next door that saves the day. Cute guy at Bible study that saves the day. Cute guy that bags groceries at the Ralph's grocery store that saves the day. And, finally, with the sci-fi world blessing me the way it has, and some of the comedies that I've done recently, it's opened that up. And it's not, I don't need to be the heartthrob. I want to be the villain. I want to be a bank robber. I want to play a stalker. I want to be under your damn bed and grab your ankle. I want to do stuff that's out of pocket, and deliver and have people like, hey, I ain't like you when you was that stalker guy, and I don't like you still. Good, I did my job. So yeah, I'm excited about where things are going now. But Man at 3B was fun. And is that the one did I propose naked in that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. There's a scene in there where I'll make it quick. They wake up in the morning and they jump each other. They're in love. And they just finished. And he realized that this is this section over here. Keep an eye on this right over here too. So they finish, and then he's like, you know what, this is it. This is her. So in the script it said he gets up, puts on his underwear, grabs the ring that he had been intending on proposing with out of his jeans. And I'm like, no, what man? We just finished making love. I'm not gonna put my drawers on and then propose. That doesn't make sense. She just seen all I got to offer. She just took all I have to. So, said, can we just, do we have to do the boxer brief thing? I said, it doesn't feel like it's honest to me. And so they were like, no, we'll do one take with it, for the television version, but for the film version, we'll shoot it how you want to. So they let us do it. So it was, I proposed naked.
Well, I thought it was a very interesting movie, first off.
Thank you.
I think the cast was absolutely amazing. And I went to see it because Anthony Montgomery is a friend.
Me too.
And I just fell in love with, I just thought, wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Christian, nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
I was wondering, I am super excited that you're going to be singing later because I loved you in the good version, the play version of Medea Goes to Jail. That's when I first saw you singing your little,
I thought you were about to sing it. I thought you were about to...
Well, no, you sang in that and, that gave us a little bit of eye candy too, so appreciate it. But coming from the circuit where you used to do a lot of live action, like in plays and things like that, but now you've transitioned more into movies and such, I was wondering what differences, what challenges you found between transitioning to the thing where you have to just go and know your lines 100%, like all the time, and get it right night after night, as opposed to if you screw something up, it's like, cut, let's do that something over again.
There's a big difference between, that's a good question, there's a big difference between theater and film. Or theater, TV, theater and film and television. With theater, everything is so big, and like if, in a room like this, there might be 3,000 people. It'd be a bigger room, but there might be 3,000 people, so if we're having a conversation, I can't talk to you like this because that half of the room can't see my face. So
no, but we can see something else.
Most of this is gonna be trouble over here.
It was just right there.
So that half of the room can't see my face. So if we're having a conversation or some kind of interaction, in TV and film, it's okay to turn, straight like this. In theater, you kind of have to do like a 3/4 situation, even if we're having a conversation. And then at some point, which may seem unnatural in real life, if we're talking, and let's say you say something that pisses me off, that may send me this way. And in real, and like, what the hell you mean? Because you have to use up all this space. And you have to give the people over here some energy and some life. That's the way theater is. Listen, I've been wanting to talk to you about something and this, that, and the other, but I'm not sure how to say it, and just let me figure it out. That's how you have a conversation in theater. You talking to a person over there, but you got to use up so much space. With TV and film, it's right here, and you don't have to make it as big and as theatrical. And so during the transition, I had to learn how not to be so big with all of that, with all I hella talk with my arms all the time. I'm a hand talker. Don't get close because I might chop you or something. I'm bad with it, but I had to learn how to dial a lot of that in. And with TV, if you think it and feel it, it'll come across. So it was just kind of unlearning some of the theater stuff and making it honest intellectually, so that way it would just come across in your face and you don't have to create action. The actual moment will create the necessary action.
Thank you. I wish you enjoyed more.
Thank you. You behave.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey Christian, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful. First I want to say you're just brilliant and I love watching everything that you're in.
Thank you.
I wanted to know how you relate to your characters in your books. Dr. Feelgood especially. How would you relate your real life and to that book?
Dr. Feelgood was easy because it's a lot of, his name is Dr. Philip Gooden, Feel Good. But, see, y'all think it's something naughty. It's not even. It's a little humping in there, but it's not. That's like 70% of the story.
Well, I know when to get robbed for Christmas.
But no, Dr. Feelgood was easy because it's therapy-based, and like I said, coming up in the system, to deal with a lot of the stuff that I went through, I had to go through a lot of therapy. That's how you learn how to forgive the other people who messed you over, forgive yourself, stop blaming yourself, stop being a victim. So when writing fictitious characters that have to go through therapeutic situations, it was easy because I knew the jargon and the dialogue, plus I went to college for social work. So that one was easier than Ladies' Night. But I just tried to make the stories honest and relatable to everybody, regardless of age or color or whatever. It's just a good story that you can put any ethnicity into.
It was a great book. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so awesome to have this man back on this stage with this show. It's been too long, and it better not be too long again. And you are not going to miss this man taking over karaoke. It's going to happen tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Kings.
You didn't give me a key at the beginning of that one.
That was...
You gave me like a note.
That was great.
That was awesome. This is the beginning of that.
Okay, hold on, hold on a second. This is it, right? Hey, Christian. Christian? Are you still here? Okay, come over here, dude. Come back up.
Come up real quick.
We screwed up your outro. We gotta do this again. So come back up. We messed this up. We kind of muffed the song. We don't want to do that. So go back to your station there, and then that last.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And you know what? Such an honor and treat to have this man on this stage at this convention. It's been too long. It better not be this long again. And you're not going to want to miss this man taking over the karaoke stage tonight, Mr. Christian King. Mr. Christian, oh, your time has come. And you know that you're the only one to say. You're motoring all the way. You're I like he's doing it backwards.
Much better second take.
Thank you, Christian. That was for us. We needed another one. That was good. Baba, what the hell happens now?
Oh, we're signing autographs.
Autographs. Great. All right.
So I think we're pausing for this on the stage.
Well, what does Clay Dix have to say about it?
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey guys, this is my new song. This one's called Clay Dix. And my name's Clay Dix. Thanks for coming. Well, I had a friend. His name was Richard Spade. That's me. He made fun of me every chance